Yeah, anytime. Okay, my name is David Coray. I'm the owner-operator of Salmon Creek Lodge. We've been here 27 years now, starting off exclusively as a sport fishing lodge in 1983, and the program developed and evolved and morphed into more of an eco-tour and a bear photography and bear viewing lodge, especially in the last 10 years. The relationship with the bears has been real interesting in that when we first came here, it had been a newly formed park in 1980, and the bears weren't acclimated or very tolerant of humans' presence. And the reason that is because of the adversarial relationship that the bears and people had here. The old-timers essentially were afraid of bears. Many of them were shot, and they were shooed out of the yard and kept at a distance at all possible. That has changed over the last 20 to 25 years with more interest in the eco-tour movement for people to appreciate bears in their natural setting, to want to get closer to bears, to study the nuances, the behaviors of bears. It's changed significantly, and we're glad to have been a part of that and actually instrumental, I like to believe, in making that happen, especially in this area here as well. So it took about 4 or 5 generations of mothers with cubs to learn to trust us and to tolerate our presence. The bears slowly over time realized that nothing good will happen by being close to people, but nothing bad will happen as well. So real slowly they developed a tolerance, so that now we see behaviors such as mating, nursing, clam digging, areas where bears are more vulnerable in open areas. We have them actually exhibiting these behaviors in very, very close proximity to us. And we have a service whereby we bring photographers and bear viewers into the area so that they can gain this close proximity and actually enjoy getting some good images and appreciating just witnessing and viewing the bears as well. And that just happened in the last 15 years or so, and I think it's probably, the area is probably highlighted as one of Alaska's better areas to see bears, in that you can move into the habitat of the bears. We're not restricted to a viewing platform, and that we can actually move around the bears in their own natural setting. So that works very well, and we've learned that you can coexist with bears. We've studied some of the material that came out of Brooks River and McNeil, which were the leaders in the whole bear viewing program, of course, back in the 70s and 80s when that started more. And we've kind of developed our own version of that here, being that we're not restricted by the platforms and the number of people that we bring in. We do try to keep it to a reasonable level so that the bears aren't alerted and pushed away. We want to stay neutral to the bears, and that we don't do things to bring the bears into us. We don't want to do things to push the bears away from us. So that's kind of been the relationship, and every year we see probably 8 to 12 of the same bears constantly coming through the area that are residents of the local area, and up to 20 to 25 different bears in one given day. That would be probably the record that we've seen. This area is more suited for juveniles and the mothers with cubs. The large boars we see in the mating season in June, but they tend to not have as much of a tolerance to the presence of humans, and so they fade away after the mating season, and then the area is left more for the juveniles and the mothers with cubs. So it's a very good area to see the mothers with the spring cubs, and they come out in late June, usually early July. And I think this summer we had probably 3 different sets of mothers with spring cubs that all seem to be surviving and doing quite well.